All right. So it's getting a little bit tedious to type everything here. And then if I want to go back, let's say I applied the wrong tax and I want to go back to my original prices, that's problematic because I have to, okay, I have to look for where is it that I store the prices. So here's bananas, right? I created a data frame with the original prices, right, where is it? Here, right here, right? So I probably want to re-execute this command. So I'm going to copy it, Control C or Command C, and then paste it. And then I get, remember I'm viewing this here, then I get the original prices back. But it's tedious to do this all the time. What if we were to save stuff what we do in a file, so for later retrieval? So for example, I'm going to have this file entitled. Again, if you don't see this window here, go to this little icon and make sure that you have show all panes available. Now, what's going to happen is, okay, I'm going to look at my bananas. This is an important line. Copy. I'm going to paste it up here. Then the tax is important, I think. Where do I have the tax? Here. Where did I define tax? Tax was defined here. Tax is 10, so I'm going to define here over in the next line. And then the next line on my file, it's going to have this, the prices for the, I have the prices for the bananas. I need the stores, and then I need my data frame that I'm using. Right there, right? And I want my viewer just because I want to see the updates and all that. So we're gonna take a look and view this. Now, this now is in a file. You can do this yourself in a text editor or wherever it is that you like to write files and just keep this on all the time. I'm gonna save this file and give it a name, right? So I'm gonna save it as, I don't know, I'm gonna put it in documents and I'm gonna save it as our examples. All right, so I save this file. It gives it, it's gonna say our examples dot big R, which is an R file. And I'm gonna have this. Now, here's the thing, is I can recreate this anytime I want, right? So I can, for example, select everything here and say, click on this icon, right, for run. And all of these commands are run, and then my viewer here, because remember I ended up with a view. If I want to apply the tax, remember that was kind of like a complicated equation to do here, or the line before, both work. Here, right? I'm going to write it here. Now, let's do something interesting. Let's say I want to see what the price is with tax. So I'm going to run all of them. I'm going to run all of these. All right. And here are the bananas with tax. What happens if I want, instead of this, I want a different tax? Oh, okay. Let's say I want a 9% tax. I just run all of these commands again. I can select all and run it. There's an easier way to run all, but for now, and I run it. And for 9% tax, these are the values. Now, what happens here, though, is that I'm getting to a point where I want the prices with tax and without tax. Okay. So instead of changing the price, I want to create another column, which is the price with tax. Okay. And in order to do that, I'm not going to change the price directly. I'm going to create a new column. To create a new column, just give it a different name. So here, I can give it a name with tax. The column with tax does not exist on banana, so it's going to create it. And the computation, the values that are going to go in there are the prices times the tax. See that? So then, again, I can run it all again and get it. And you see, here's the banana and here's with tax, right? So I can add columns that our computation of another column, right? I have my columns that are vectors, but what if I already have an Excel spreadsheet with all the data that I'm interested in working with, okay? For example, well, you have to load that data. I'm gonna do a little bit of loading a data. So I have a file that came from Excel, okay, where I had a lot of data from the city of Chicago because they make it available. So it's just as good for this example. And the data for the city of Chicago that I'm going to use is a list of salaries. So I'm going to look it up on Excel. I just want you to see where this is in a second. So here's the data set. Let me look at, oops, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to open the data. Here's the data. Here's what it looks like. This is called in a CSV file, comma separated values. If you open it in Excel, okay, if you open it in Excel, you're going to see something like this. This was the original data, right? I have name, position, department, employee, and then the employee annual salary, okay? I have the employee annual salary, the department, the position, and the name. And here's the names, right? This is all public data, and here are the annual salaries, right? Now, this is the data that I'm going to work with. If I save this as Excel, or I can do file, save as, and then comma separated values, right? Either one of those works with R. If you save it as comma separated values, it'll look like this, but it's not important. R doesn't care. So let's load this data here. Okay, the first thing that you can do is to go to the menu File and say Import Dataset, or you can also import dataset from here. Okay, and you can use, you know, from text, from Excel, from SPSS if you have it, from other statistical packages. So select either one of these. I would say from text base, and I look for the file where this thing is. Okay, so datasets Chicago, and then here's the employee file. I click open, and this is the dataset, and this is what the data frame is going to look like: name, position, and if I scroll to the left, I'll see the department and the employee annual salary. Right now, the name of everything will be imported into a variable. Okay, so it's important to know this is the name of the variable, chi-emps, and I'm going to import it. And I want you to look at something here. If I want to import it, I will always have to go to import datasets, which could be a pain if I want to script something. So look at what this did. It created the code, the equivalent code to read the file. Okay, it's the command called read.csv. That's an R command, and it reads it and it puts it in the variable chi-emps. And then there's the view, which we already know displays this little view here. So what I can do is I can copy this if I'm going to use this file a lot, or if I'm going to be reading every time. I don't want to lose this data. And in my examples, I can put it here, right? That's my chi-emp. So if I lose this for whatever reason, right, I can always highlight this line or be on that line and run it, and I will load the data on chi-emps, right? Now look at the emps. Look at the columns. Name with capital N, the case is important. Position.title is the other column. Department is the other column, and employee.annual.salary is the other column. And we can do some computations here. So for example, what's the average employee annual salary? We can do mean, right? The mean of a vector, and the employee annual salary is a vector. So chi-emps, that's my variable, $sign, and now the column, employee annual salary. Go. Oh, it gives me NA. This means that there are values for which the annual salary is not specified, I don't know, somewhere in here, this is a ton of them, is 32,000, right? So some might have a value that is not there, okay? There's a few things that could be happening, and data is messy, right? So it could be that there's a value that is not specified, and then that the R says, well, I can't compute an average if there's a value that is not there. So you can do this, chi-emps, chi-emps employee annual salary, and then comma, and then you say na.rm equals true. This means if there's a value that is not assigned, NA, or not available, remove it. Don't consider it. And now here I got the employee annual salary. The average annual salary of the city of Chicago's employees is $80,000 roughly. I can do a lot of things there. I can do one for statistics called summary of chi-emps employee annual salary. And the summary is going to tell me a lot of things. It's going to tell me the minimum is 0.96. That's probably an error in the data. The first quartile, 72,000. The median is 84,000. The mean is 80,000. The third quartile, so the people that are in the highest 25% percentile make 93,000 or more, and the maximum is $300,000, right? And there's one person without an ACE not available. Only one record has the salary not available. So this is a good summary of the employee annual salaries. Another thing that I can do, and I'm going to talk more about this in our next video, is graphs. So I can do a histogram of the salaries, chi-emps employee annual salary. And if I do a histogram, it's going to come out here, and this is sort of like a little bit of a normal distribution between, well, $0 and 150,000, right? So this gives me a little bit of a histogram here where I can start seeing plots. We can change these plots, the columns, the names, everything. So we're going to talk about plotting and looking at data in the next video.